activities that we're involved in, college numbers, and some big ideas. And Jeff already introduced these for me. Thanks. And Jeff already introduced some of the big ideas already for me, so I should be able to move a little faster, but I'll give you some more details about what's going on there. And, oh. There we go. Okay. This is one of the slides he jumped over. Oops, then I'm jumping over. This is U.S. News, gives college rankings, and then they go down to the department level. And college rankings, college engineering ranked 48th out of about 190. Jeff reminded me of the number. So the College of Engineering gets ranked as a whole, and this is the one you see in the magazine with all the criteria, how many National Academy members, how many PhD students, research dollars, and things like that. The departments are ranked based upon solely on department head evaluation of other departments. So I get a survey that says rank every civil engineering program in the U.S. on a scale of 1 to 5, and that's what these result in. And so we came 42nd at the parens is last year. The regular values are this year. So we're 29th percentile, which is I've gone through the numbers of how many faculty are in, even up to number 50. We are by far the smallest department as far as faculty members out of the top 50. Everybody else has 15 or more, usually above 20 in faculty members, and we're down. Well, you'll see in a minute. We're down to 8 with a few hopefully pickups.
Is mining and geo wrapped into another department? Or
they just don't have enough to rank them. There's only, what, 11?
Yeah, it's a small department.
Yeah, so they don't list those.
But one of the best in the country. So.
Well, top 10. Yeah. No, we can't. We can't. No, they're top 3 or 4 apparently.
How do you rank? You know, you're sitting there, and there's a university.
Just on reputation.
In North Dakota.
Yeah.
Or Maine. Do you have a clue?
Some of them. Well, and when I think of the faculty who I know, or I talk to somebody, and yeah, we have.
Yeah, I had the same question. If you're sitting there with a list of 144, I mean, you know more about some and not so much about others.
And you know the top ones, you don't know so much about the lower. And I know the top and our peers, and then I sort of lose it down at the bottom.
That doesn't seem very scientific.
No.
And do they do it? We used to do rankings of principals in our firm. I didn't know these guys. But we would rank them 1, 2,
right.
3.
Oh, and then you could do it not.
You didn't know them.
Right.
You ranked them as a 3, so it didn't matter what rank.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we did.
Maybe they should be doing.
They do have a category not enough information or something like that. So you could check or circle that. Yeah. So these are the qualitative ones, and in the fall I'll get back and talk about the NRC rankings, which came out. NRC, National Research NRC. I forget I always say NRC, and I forgot what the initials stand for. National Research Council. And they do a formal ranking looking at how many publications your faculty have. They do a lot more detail. And in that one, the difficulty is they give a range of where you fall. And in the range, we were down 30 to like 60. They give it's a fairly wide band. But it's not far off from what we see here. So we're in the same ballpark as what we have here. Yes?
Could you calibrate that for me? I'm sorry. Like aerospace is 30 out of 59.
Yep.
Mean that they ranked 30th out of the 59?
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
Percentage.
And then I just gave the percentages out here. Right. So then I just divided this by this and got the
the red ones are the
below
top,
30.
The top ranked?
For our college, yeah. Yeah. So we're electrical and computing, environmental just beat us. That's the Shane Snyder effect. Those who know Shane Snyder just got hired, so they bumped up 4, and then it comes us and mechanical. Yeah. So even though we're small, we're highly at least viewed by our colleagues. Yeah. Okay. And then the number in parens is their last ranking a year or two ago. They had similar rankings come out. So we're pretty steady, which is good for us as well. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay.
By the way, Kevin, does that hurt you when you go for funding and they see where you are ranked and you only have 8 faculty members?
There's not much that can help you for funding right now. Yeah.
They say you're obviously doing a good job. You're getting a lot with a little, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is what used to be able to get you funding. Academic programs review are completed on 7-year cycles. Every department or every academic program in the university is reviewed on a 7-year cycle. And we're due 2013, 14. Next year we're due. It essentially documents what we do in our grad and undergraduate programs, faculty productivity. So it's essentially a full assessment of where we stand and what we're doing as far as the department goes. So it goes beyond ABET, although ABET, many of the components are we pulled right out of ABET and stuck in here because what they look at is undergraduate assessment and where we are. So the undergraduate's going to be pretty easy because we have lots of data for that. Grad and faculty productivity have to look and where our alums go and things like that. So
So it has to be completed by Monday?
No, this is April 15th. This is next April. Has to be done by next April. I got the, yeah, there we go.
Between that and your taxes, you're done.
And a couple other things. Yeah, it must be completed by next April 15th. It goes to the provost, who's the head academician on campus, and then it goes to Arizona Board of Regents. And there's around 15 departments that are evaluated each year. So you could do 7 times 15 is the number of departments on campus. So we prepare a report. We provide that to what they call external committee, which I'll give you more information about in a little bit. Have a 2-day visit. We're going to be pushing ours off to the spring sometime. As far as that committee goes, we need to get nominations in now, as well as defining what these 2 days should be so we can get on everyone's schedule. So we pick 7 committee members for the entire group, but we need to nominate 2 for each spot, essentially. So we have to have 14 nominated. The vice provost comes along and makes a decision about who should be on that committee out of the 14. I'll give you the list of what they have to satisfy. And the only point is make sure they don't have a conflict of interest and give us diversity. That's the emphasis when we had our meeting the other day. That's what I took from it. So the committee. The last committee that we had when Juan was head, so it was about 7 years ago, so it was a few years before I was head, we had 3 department heads, one from Colorado. I think, well, we had, we had our member here on the committee. She's our community member. But we had, I think she was department head Colorado Boulder, if I recall. And then UCLA, Bill Ye. And the third person, I don't recall he may have been a Texas guy. I'm not positive though. Yeah, I'm not positive. It could have been. Yeah, it's supposed to be your current and aspirational peers, and Texas would certainly be a huge aspirational peer. A huge aspirational tier. They probably have 45 faculty, so they would not be an aspirational peer for us. So there are typically 3 external from our peers, then 2 internal ones, one from another group in the college, but it can't be affiliated. So I originally said, well, we should get some environmental faculty, but that's not what the intent is, to get someone who's affiliated and working with with the department, and then someone across campus. And I said, oh, we could get Juan, but they also said that would be somewhat of a conflict as well. So Juan Valdez, I thought college, but he won't be counted for there. So these are outside people. We need 1 community member, and then a recent alum preferred within the last 5 years. And so what I'd like is, well, if you have suggestions about who our community member should be, and then when our report does come around, if you guys, I'd hope you'd be able to learn something from it about what we're doing, as well as giving us some input about how we should be putting things together. So I would hope to get this, I'm thinking February or so for our meeting, and probably try to have it done maybe before Christmas to get it out to people, and then go through some revisions after that. So that's what I'm asking from you guys at the moment. So input and volunteers for the community member. I would look a lot from like the AIC giving us who that should be, or 2 people, and let the vice provost pick one of those folks. So I think that's really appropriate for you guys to make have that input. Okay. Okay. So, hi.
No, I don't think this is.
Okay, I don't. Sure, I don't recognize her either. So that's academic stuff. I'm going to move to some faculty issues now, or not faculty stuff. Next, I think most of you heard Miss Peterson passed away last October. amazing person and amazing faculty. The awards are phenomenal. Hunter Rouse is the top hydraulics award given in AICE. She was a distinguished alumni. She was a distinguished member of AICE. Kurt Elmore, a PhD student here. She really had strong ties with her graduate students once they left the program. He spearheaded an effort to get this award up and going a couple years ago, because when her health started to fail. She was somewhat early 90s, and she did really well. So she was a really tremendous person and a really great help for me. When I came, I had the office next to her, and she was a really great mentor when I first arrived. So, other things that have happened. Mark Hickman, as you may have heard, is here today, but he's visiting back to have some exams for his graduate students, but he's moved to the University of Brisbane. He was recruited heavily. They essentially wooed him with a chaired professor position and a couple $100,000 a year in guaranteed money to do public transit. And doing public transit in Brisbane is a lot different than doing public transit in Tucson. Even though he was one of the best in the U.S., they pulled him down there. So Mark is listed now as on a leave, but he's essentially left the university effective January. Muni Budu, for several reasons, has decided to step down. He's on a research leave for this calendar year, and then he'll step down and retire effective in January. Formally retire, but he's not teaching. Well, he is teaching one class this semester. Yeah, so he's teaching foundations for us this semester, which is really helpful for us because he does a great job with it. Yeah, which one? Yeah, he's. Last year, I forget what site he's looking at now. Last year he did foundations and he did the extension of the football stadium, the north bleachers, and he used that as a foundation project. And he found another one this year that he's using in town here. Hamid Sadat Manesh, one of our structures faculty, is in her final year of leave of absence. It's sort of an up and out. He's either in or out at this point, and we'll see. So our current faculty now are these. Lian Yang, who you've heard about, and he might be someone we want to bring over to make a presentation to you guys in a year or so, next year during one of your meetings. He's our geotech engineering. Robert Inachinta, Haldar doing in our structures. Yi Chang, because we had Mark, he's down to a lone faculty. Jennifer Dewan and I, George and Dr. Bikram in the EM area. Right now, we have an offer out to one faculty who we're trying to bring in, and I think it's reaching a conclusion. I certainly hope it is. We're trying to get a formal letter, and we're bouncing back and forth on that. But we've gone through negotiations to do that.
What area?
She's engineering mechanics, and really very broad, actually. She's a special hire. She's a targeted hire for us. So she's not. After this, we got Jeff to approve 2 positions for us to open up and have an advertisement. He originally said, go out and find a rising star in your area. And last year we did, and we found someone really good, and we had made him an offer, and he goes, my wife doesn't even want to think about coming to Tucson. But he would have been great. So after that, Jeff agreed that we can get some open positions. But in between, we had brought this woman in who does engineering mechanics, and she's really a phenomenal person. I'm not sure how much I can say, but she's really, really good. Hopefully you get to talk about her in detail in the fall.
Are there 2 areas you're targeting the 2 open positions for specifically?
Oops. Which one? Did I go too far? We have an advertisement out. The status we are right now, we have an advertisement out, and it closed. Well, it was our first review was April 1st, which is behind in academic circles. Where we didn't get it approved by the provost till late, probably January or so. So most folks are making offers around now. So we put an advertisement out that looked at general infrastructure where people could do collaborative research across areas, essentially fitting into this idea of the innovation building. And we got 162 applications. About a third of those were in transportation area. About a third were in structures area and structural health monitoring and non-destructive testing type of people. And then everything else was a mix. Handful of water, probably 10 or 12 geotech. And we've cut it down. We closed on the first. We reviewed applications. We set up 30-minute phone call interviews or Skype interviews with 14 of them and finished those yesterday afternoon. So this week we've been conducting the Skype interviews. Have it 14, and we're down to either 5 or 7, depending on how much risk we want to take about not getting somebody. Because the problem is, since we're behind, if we bring in 5 and 2 people we want take jobs, when